Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today I'm bringing you, of course, another deck profile. Double back to back locals against all the meta decks, whether it be Draco Tail, K9, Crystron, Yummy, Vanquish Soul, doesn't matter. I played against it all. Two back to back locals, took the dub both times. So I want to bring the deck profile just to showcase it hasn't changed really a whole lot. There are a couple of new cards in there in the main deck, in the side deck, in the extra deck. But overall, for the most part, it's pretty much the same list, right? We have, all the semi limits and stuff. So we'll just get right on into it, right? Shout out to the token, always keeping me safe. And then, yeah. So moving forward, for the Ryzeal monsters, we've got 2x, best card, dumping whatever extra deck monster I need to help me out or to continue for my first combo. We got the 2 ice, best normal summon, obviously. We got the 2 sword, our support. And then we've got the 2 one-ofs for the monsters, and then we have the spell, right? So go ahead and move this out the way real quick. So this is like the main lineup, right, for like the actual Ryzeal stuff. And then we're also playing 3/7 Tachyon and then the 1 Bonfire, right? So this is like the whole lineup. We're playing like 3 of like the bricky cards, right? I stand by playing by this. This card has been super insane whenever like you start with X, because you can go X, get sword, right? Sword special, then you normal ice, and then ice specials you this from deck. And then you set cross, right? Right, so you have all this. So basically what your board will look like, real quick, I'm sure you've seen before, is you'll have this set, and then you'll have all these on board, right? And then you just go activate this, and then you overlay these two, and you make dual drive, and you're nib insulated. Never playing a nib. Shout out for Jerry for always using nib as a fusion material when he plays Draco Tail, because I never play into Nib. Super good, right? Nib is like a hit or miss card this format. A lot of people stand by it. There are some people that don't. I'm one of those people that don't think it's super good. I think it stands alone good against Yummy. Outside of that, I don't think it really has its spot in the meta at the moment. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and move on to the secondary engine. Of course, you know me, guys, as the Mitsurugi player, right? So we have the 1 Saji, the 1 Kusanagi, and the 1 honorary Night Sword Serpent, honorary Mitsurugi card. And then obviously we have the 3 Habakiri and then the 1 Murakumo. Shout out to Murakumo for keeping me safe. I've won a lot of games with just this engine, right? Obviously, right, we're on the 3 prayers, the 1 ritual spell, and then the 1 trap. Still play the trap in the main. A lot of times that this is like the card that just seals the fate. Against Vanquish Soul, I usually like holding this for like Holly Sue, and like she'll go like effect to summon or effect to steal, right? Sometimes I let her hit the board, and if she goes to steal my monster or anything like that, I'll just remove her. Just immediately just get her off the field, especially if they've already used rock to add black like a fire for like their attributes. Just deleting Holly Sue is super nice. Sometimes in the K9 stuff, whenever they go like Jokul's really good to stop as well if I've already used like cross negate. But so yeah, this, like I said, this engine's carried me, mainly this card. A lot of the time, like in the grind games, obviously, right, this card comes in really clutch because you're forcing your opponent to discard. Also, a lot of the time, like I'll make this going first, depending on the hand, right? This will come out like and hit the board really soon, and if my opponent like doesn't has a hand trap, I'll just force them to rip, right? Even like against Nib, like I'll let like Nib resolve, and then I'll just bring this back and just pop their Nib, and then if I'm not locked yet, I can make like Lizardos and like banish it off the field and draw an extra card and stuff like that. So really good. This engine is just it's been that the guy in my corner that really just really keeps me in the game, right? Kind of like with the K9 stuff does with Vanquish Soul. This is what this does, right? It gives me an extra push. You can bridge engines back and forth. Same thing, obviously, like with the K9 stuff. Being able to be bridged from the Vanquish Soul into it, which is obviously very strong. So, yep, Mitsurugi engine, same as before, right? Exactly the same. Still not playing the other the dude in the white. I forget his name. I literally don't know his name because I don't play him. No point in playing him. Having the extra body always guarantees that I make it an extra XYZ monster every turn. So yeah, um, that's it for that. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to the hand traps, or non-engine, or would be a better description. So we'll go ahead. We'll start off with the 3 Ash. Mainly for the mulch armies. It's also good against, obviously other cards like Stake Your Soul, Your Nose is Mine, stuff like that. Just, keeping people out of the deck, stuff like that. A lot of times, like, if somebody, like Vanquish Soul players, or they go like Field Spell and it's like on their Mad Love, I'll go ahead and Ash that. Or hitting the Cupsy Yummy way. The Synchro, I like hitting it with Ash. Obviously, they can't dodge target on this. It keeps them off their stuff. Especially really good against Yummy whenever they go Striker combo and they make it and they can't dodge. So, like, even so you can hold, like, Imperm for their turn. In case they still have ability to play, you just rip this. And if they don't have a way to, continue from there, they probably lose. So, we also have the 3 Foolos. 3 Foola, pretty self-explanatory. Go first, go second. Protects you. There's been times where if I, like, knowing my opponent's on Draco Tail, I'll just go ahead. If I have a good enough engine in hand, I'll just rip this during standby. And that way, if they ever fuse on my turn, it's fine. If they don't, it doesn't matter. I didn't really need it anyways because it was going to be dead. We have 2 Ghost Spell, and then we have 2 Veiler. This card, I want to play at 3, but I'm at 40 cards, and I don't want to play 41. This card has single-handedly won me, no kidding, probably 30 to 50% of my games, somewhere in that margin. This card alone resolving against my opponent has been the main reason I've won. Like, it's absolutely insane. This is the best hand trap this format. Do not let anyone tell you different. The only thing that might be better is, like, Canine Azuna. That is the only, because she's technically a hand trap. This is the best, like, generic, right? Standard hand trap right now. She hits every single deck right now. She hits the Yummy Synchros. She hits the Vanquish Souls add back off of Rock. It hits Draco Tail's traps. It also hits Urgula, adding back 5 mana. It hits everything. It hits Canine. Canine's Lupus, effect to summon from the grave. Crystron, effect to summon back from, like, Banish or something like that. Or just, nope. You can just stop them. This literally hits everything. This card resolving has been in at least 3 of my matches. The sole reason I won is because I had this hand trap. If you're not playing Bell, you should be playing Bell. This card is absolutely broken. For the rest of the non-engine, we have 1 talent, 1 call by. I still stand by this card. Every time this card is resolved, I've won the match. Going first or going second to either look at my opponent's hand or steal. This is forced out heralds, right? Like, I'll go activate. I literally went, like, special X effect. Sent, what's his name? Because I just added him in here. Valon, a new addition. We'll get to him soon. Pop, like, a back row. Right? And then I'll force them, like, into Yummy. And then they'll, activate effect to Synchro or activate effect to bounce to bring the bodies out. And then on resolution, I'll go activate effect to steal. And they have to negate it. And they literally have to negate this if I'm going to steal. Because if I steal Herald, right, it's a 4. I could have just slapped it with X and stolen his Herald. And he would have lost it. So he had to negate this. This was also really insane. This combo right here won me a game against Yummy. I was playing against Yummy. And I went, like, I think, like, normal summon ice effect. And he went chain to I went special summon X send target send Valen target, which I owned the 1 face down, which I knew was surprise. He went chain surprise. I went, yep, that's fine. He went chain to synchro. I went activate this. He had a synchro on field, target the Snatchy and Grave. He went chain to bounce for cost to summon from grave. I went chain this, and he lost. It was game over. This combo right here was game over. like I said, this card resolving was crazy. This just because I had this insulated this. It guaranteed it. It was incredible. And then we have 3 Imperm. Mainly reason I'm playing Imperm is because you can go second with this card. So if you draw like multiple hand traps, you can keep the Imperm for depending on the matchup, and then you can just Imperm like one of their bodies on field. Like if it's Herald, I'll hold this for against Yummy, and just even if especially if this is my only hand trap. If I open like all engine, right, and then like this is my only thing, my only way to like stop my opponent, unless like it's like I know for sure, right, like we're in the grind game or whatever, and I have nothing on board or something like that, right. I will hold this and let them make their whole board, let them make Herald, and I'll just make my turn, draw for turn, during draw phase, activate this. They just hit the Herald. Just get rid of it. And then that way I can start X, because that way, because otherwise stuff that gets sent from the deck and hand get banished. Now X is live, and I then don't get to negate my stuff anymore. So this was also really good. Mainly not as a hand trap, but as a breaker. So that's it for the main deck. I'm playing 40 cards even. It's been really nice. We'll go ahead and move on to the extra deck. 1 detonator. Excuse me. 2 duo drive. I would play more detonator. However, Konami hates us. We're only allowed to play 1. 1 Eclipse Twins. If you manage this properly, it's fine. You don't really need another one. I also play a backup. D'Agusto Emerald in a lot of cases has been, if this and this is engraved for some reason, right, I can do this, make this guy, target something else, shuffle them back, draw a card, revitalize my entire engine. Or sometimes, like, I'll leave this engraved and I'll just bring this back. And then I'll just dump it off of X'd if I haven't used it already. And then if I have another 4 plus this one, I just reborn it. And then it's fine from there. We have the Dugaras. I don't use him as much anymore. Drawing 2 cards and then not being able to draw is fine. What I've used him mainly for the last 2 times is actually doubling Detonator and making him 6,000 just so my opponent can't beat over him. Or going for game. Against Blue Eye Centurion, I made this guy 6,200. My opponent made Chaos Angel to prevent me from to protect himself, and I was able to like imperm it, beat over it, and like this was basically plus like what else I had on board was plenty enough to kill. It was like this with a material plus like Murakumo, and it was just like just death. Ragna Zero end board piece. If I can, I make this whenever Habakiri's on the field, and or if Duo Drive has a material that or 2. That way, all of my opponent's monsters are. This is a quick effect detonator to target a pop. If you don't know, if your opponent's monsters are a different attack than their original, you can quick effect during either turn, target a monster on the field, detach a material for cost, and pop it. If you do successfully destroy that monster, you get to draw a card. Very good. It just like a lot of times this just forces my opponent to like interact with me. If they're trying to like play like slow and safe, right? It just forces them because, and then I don't know how many times this has drawn me a hand trap. Imperm or not Imperm. Valor, Ash, Ghost Spell, whatever. Like this thing always seems to draw me a hand trap. Exiton. I made it once against. Also against Centurion. Just to force the negate from Blazar. Literally made this just for him to like force Blazar negate it so I could get Blazar off the field. We have Masquerade 104 to search. We have obviously for Tachyon, we have Dragon. This is really good against the Draco Tail matchup. I make this usually instead of this because I can, whenever they set their fusion spells, I wait. If I have monsters on field, obviously, right, I wait for Ketu to get set, and I just immediately pop Ketu. Just immediately get rid of it. We have Imps for the bridge, right? Bridging our engines. And that's it for the 4s, right? So this is all of my 4 monsters, the most important ones. All of them are perfect. I wouldn't change any of these. I think they all serve their purpose, and they all have their interactions. I literally think that this extra deck is perfect, especially for the 4s, right? Obviously, these are mandatory. Playing 2 Duo Drive is mandatory, I think. King of the Feral Imps is obviously mandatory for the bridge. You only need the one. Um, Eclipse Twins, like I said, I think this is perfect because everything in here is a threat. Moving on to these are either dumps for Ext, or these are like the oh shit cards. We have Valon. Valon, again, really clutch into Draco Tail, sending off an X, just popping the spell negate. I always pop the spell negate. Shout out to Jerry for giving me this card and him playing Draco Tail so I can use it against him. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, this literally just like going into a board, right? X is the best way to start. And into Draco Tail, like their interaction on your turn is like fusion summoning and both traps. That's really about it. Unless they have Gulamel, then they have a pop. That's really about it. Obviously, they have like the fusion monsters that can either pop a spell or trap, which is Urgula, or they have Pan to pop a monster, or they have Malulu to negate. But outside of that, this is like your best start because you don't want to send Aggregator because it doesn't do anything to their board. Speaking of Aggregator, our boy Ag right here, he's been mainly good just to force stuff out. Like he's just there to force my opponent to do something. Whether it's like forcing a negate from my opponent with like the canine stuff or stuff like that. That's really about it. Is because more often than not he doesn't go through. It's literally just forcing my opponent to react. He's really good into Herald. If you didn't have a way to like impermit right and you have a way to X, so you just X, send this. You go chain 1 search, chain 2 target to negate. They can't do anything about it. Like they have to like just let it go basically, or they negate. It's fine. Typhon literally never made it because I was never losing. So, and then one Haggard Lizardos. This won me again against Yummy today, because we were in like a hand trap war. We both like didn't really draw engine, again. So he just kept drawing like hand traps. Eventually he had like he stopped the Kagari because he Dominus purged me from hand, so he couldn't Kagari, and then he like normaled like a Fuelos, and then he poked me for like probably until I was like about 2,000 HP, and I drew a couple starters, but he judgmented them or solemn strike them, so he literally was down to like 500 HP. I had Bell face down. He didn't battle into it. I flipped it face up. I normal summoned Valor, linked these two off, summon this. Anything here? Nope. Battle phase. Punched his Fulos that was in attack position and killed him because he had like 500 HP. Because he halved his life points twice with Judgment, and then he hit me with Strike over 3 different turns. So yeah, shout out to Lizardos for also keeping me safe. That's it for the extra deck. Like I said, everything is perfect. The only thing was like Typhon, but Typhon, like there's nothing else that I can put in this deck that'll do me any good. So just having like a backup plan for just anything really, just bouncing like problem cards. There was actually one where not recently, but I had a game probably about a week ago where I made Typhon. And it was literally like I normaled a hand trap, made Typhon. I beat over my opponent's monster. Like I don't remember what it was. Went Typhon, bounced itself back to the extra deck, and then because I had Fua in hand, and then my opponent went like started to play, and as soon as they went to, I think it was against Yummy. No, it was against Draco Tail. Draco Tail. They went effective fuse. I went chain. Response. Nope, that's good. Chain the second one. I drew like a bunch of cards. I drew like I think 4 cards. And then he wasn't able to kill me, and I cracked back and killed him. So that was the one time that it was good. But that was outside of tournament. That was just like friendly matches. We'll go ahead. We'll move on to the extra deck now. Or I'm sorry, the side deck. I think that the side deck needs work. There's a couple cards I want to change, but overall, it's been really good. 3 Joel. This is for Canine Vanquish Soul, just to like prevent them from adding a bunch of stuff to hand, especially going first or second. I just want to stop them. If I don't have Fuelos, right? I'll put this in and I'll put in Fool. If I see one or the other, if I see both, I'll just Fool them. Make like a half board. If I see just this, I'll just roll them as soon as they go to search and just keep them off of like the extra canine, extra anything. And again, basically forcing my Vanquish Soul opponent to make a half board and keep their hand small. That's like the main thing you want to do with Vanquish Soul is keep their hand small. And this does this the best. Outside of anything else, it doesn't do anything. It's literally just here for that. 2 Nib. This is just in here for Yummy. This won me today's match against my technically 4th round. Because it was me and him were the only ones undefeated. Shout out to my boy Pablo playing Yummy. Literally just nibbed him. I decided this in, like I said, just for nib. And I made him go first. So I won the first one, lost the second one, I believe. And then I tricked him, and I made him think that I was going to go first. I made him go first, so he sided in, like, breakers and stuff. And I drew, like, double Fua. I think it was X, like, one of these, and then, like, another hand trap, like Veiler or something like that. And I double Fua'd him. He gave me, like, some draws. And then I nibbed him, and because he played right into nib. Like, just, like, at the cusp. And then that forced him to play into Fua more. And he had, like, basically, like, a half board. And then with that, it was just enough. I had enough engine in hand just to, like, basically, like, get rid of his board and kill him. So, yeah. This was literally just this against Yummy. I only played it 2 as well because I played breakers as well on top of this for Yummy. 2 Meows. This is, in theory, good against Yummy if I'm going first. So I can side out. So what I'll do is I will side out the Fualoses sometimes. Going second. I'm sorry. For going second into Yummy. I'll add this on top of Fualos, is what I meant to say. This, right? So what happens basically is you just activate this. And if you have, like, another Fualos, right? You can do that on top of this, right? So that's why it's at 2, right? So if you see both, right, you can just rip both of them if you don't have another Molcharmy. And basically what I'll do is, like, if I have this in Fua, I'll activate Fualos during, like, standby, and they'll usually chain the other Synchro if they have a Synchro on field. And if they do, you chain this. And then you draw off of that, and then now every time they bounce, you draw a card. Every time they summon from extra deck, you draw a card. So it gives you, like, a lot of gas into playing into the Yummy board. Which obviously this deck, the more stuff you have in hand, kind of like Vanquish Soul, the more you can play. The 1 Ogre, just for, like, I had an extra, like, space, right? Because I was playing 3 of this, and I cut it to 2. I had an extra space. I didn't know what I wanted to play, so I just played this. I've seen it, like, twice. And it was really good, like, once. It literally just... and it removed a monster. I'm pretty sure, like, I baited Snatchy effect. And I just chained this and, like, just got rid of the Snatchy. So he couldn't Synchro, which was really, really good. But otherwise, like, it's just kind of there. 3 breakers. We have double Lightning Storm. Disregard the non-QCR. I still haven't found a second one. Nobody wants to trade it. We have 1 Duster and then Lightning Storm. This is probably just going to become, like, Raigeki. I'm just going to Raigeki my opponent. Raigeki would be really good. I can play into the board a little bit, force some interaction, and then just, like, all of a sudden just be like Raigeki. It's really good. Not a lot of back row that I have to worry about. The field spell from the Yummies is not that scary. The Vanquish Soul trap is scary, but I can just, like, Val on that with X, right? So, like, I need, like, maybe it's a little extra if my opponent draws, like, a bunch of imperms and stuff like that. I can just kill, like, the back row if I see it, which was the idea, right? But yeah, these should probably be Raigeki. They did do good against all of my matchups, mainly against, like, Draco Tail, just activating this. Forcing this, you could force the spell, and then, yeah, if you have another one, you just activate it again, and they lose the other interaction. So, pretty good. The 1 crossout, this is just for people that are siding Droll. I know people still side Droll, so I play this because I have. This is only for going first, and it's literally so I'll put in, like, 1 Droll. So I'll play this. The talent, and then the call by, and those are literally just to respond to Droll. I haven't really been drolled a whole lot. And I think the one game that I was drolled, I still killed them because I had like I think I had like full Mitsurugi stuff in hand. I had like Murakumo, Ritual Spell, Prayer, Trap, I think, and like X. Yeah, and I went X, send, search, and they were like, yeah, activate this, and I went, ooh, that's pretty good, and then I literally like just made detonator, and then went like summon Murakumo, and that was it. Like literally just like tribute an extra Habakiri from deck, and then set trap, and then they couldn't break the board, and that was it. So it was pretty good. And then the last three cards are Judgment, because stopping my opponent's normal summon with Yummy is really good. Stopping my opponent's normal summon with Draco Tail is really good. Stopping the spells. This just hits everything that you could possibly think of, right? Mainly against Yummy, just hitting the normal summon. That's what I've used this for. They'll go to or hitting Snatchy. If they normal Cupsy, I'll rip this. If they normal anything else, I'll let them make Snatchy. I'll let them make Snatchy, and then I'll rip it because it wasn't properly summoned, and then that they lose out on the effect, and they've already normal summoned, so they need like Obedience School, and if they have that, I normally have another way to stop them, like either in Purification, or whatever it might be. So that's it for the deck profile. Real quick before we go, I do want to showcase the main combo that I've been playing and using to win all of my games, mainly starting with X. Anyway, to see X, right? So we have effectively, I believe it's 6 ways to see X for the most part. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, basically 6, because we play X at 2. Obviously, we would play more if Konami didn't hate us. So we have, like I said, 2 ways just because of himself, and then we have the ways to search him with these 4. I was originally playing 2 7 Tachyon, right? So basically, like, effectively playing 3 searches. But you would just want to see X so bad, especially going second, that I bumped this to 3. And, like, I think I cut, like, a hand trap. So, yeah, you just really want to see this. So we'll go ahead. I just want to showcase this. We'll go ahead and move this to the side. And this is 1-card combo. So we'll go ahead, special summon X, effect to search. We'll go ahead and from deck, we'll grab the Sword. We'll special Sword. Sword will trigger here and obviously search us the Ice. We'll go ahead and normal Ice effect, and this is where, we get the Star. So we'll go ahead, Star effect. Star is going to go ahead and trigger for us, and we'll go ahead and set the cross from deck. Also, got the secret cross from the packs. Pretty nice. So always love our rarity upgrades, right? Go ahead and we activate this. And then, so right here, right, we're at 4 summons, obviously. We'll go ahead, overlay these 2. Just move this down a little bit, just so I have a little extra room. And then here, you go ahead and you make the Duo Drive. Right, now you're completely insulated from Nib. You don't have to worry about anything. And then here, you go ahead and overlay these 2 immediately as well, and you go ahead and make King of the Feral Imps. Here you go Imps effect, you detach whatever you want. It literally doesn't matter. And then here you go ahead and you can search the Habakiri from your deck to your hand. Right? These are extra cards. We'll go ahead and put them in, like I said, 1-card combo. And then here you can go effect. You go ahead and you detach the Ice and the Sword, and you leave Star underneath, right? So you want to put all the useful, quote-unquote useful ones back into the grave. That way you can cycle them back later if you need to. And then Star is already done its job, and you don't need to use it anymore, so that's why you leave that as the material. This will allow you to search 2 cards. You go ahead and you search from your deck to your hand. You can search these 2 right here. So you search an extra Ice, and then you search the node. And then this is what you'll have in hand. Here, you can go ahead, activate Habakiri. Habakiri here will go ahead and tribute for you, summoning the Kusanagi and tributing off the Imps. This will trigger here for you, and then grab you the Ritual Spell. Right? So now you have this in hand, you have this in hand. So we went from literally, so we just had X'd. We have currently 4 cards in our hand. Pretty insane. We go ahead and summon from the hand first. You tribute, go ahead, and then you get the 2 babies. This is where, like I said, where I don't play the other. I think his name's like Aramasu or whatever his name is. So now you go tribute these 2. You chain block this with this to add back, and then you special summon here. So you get, like I said, you guarantee that you get to make an extra XYZ monster, right? So here you could go, for example, whatever you want, right? You could go Daigusto Emerald if you wanted. You can go Dugaros if you wanted. It's up to you, right? Here, for me, if you want to get greedy, right? So we'll do the greedy line first. We'll do this. We'll go ahead and make the Dugaras. Dugaras will go ahead and activate to draw 2 cards, right? So we'll draw 2, whatever they might be. We'll do these 2 ashes, and then you discard a card, all right? We'll go ahead and put her upside down just so we know, right? And then here you could go special node effect, send, target the sword. That way you can't be bestialed. Some people are playing bestials. You overlay these 2. You can go ahead, make detonator, and then off of the X, we should have sent, obviously, twins. Twins would be attached. My apologies. Here you go. And then here, you can go ahead and activate this, tribute this off, special summon the Murakumo, special Murakumo. And then here, right, like I said, you can be greedy and you can go resolution effect to search. Here, instead of searching the trap, what you can do is you can search the prayers. So now this will come back, and then you go activate prayers. You can tribute this, and then what you do is you can search to hand first. You go ahead and search yourself a copy of Habakiri. This is on field. And then you go ahead and what you do is you summon back it doesn't matter, any one of the monsters from the grave that are the level 4 Mitsurugis, right? Resolution, this will go ahead and trigger again. Go ahead and you'll search. Go ahead, search trap. Special summon this. And then you get here, you can go, so you have an extra card now, right? You search the extra Habakiri, you discard the extra Habakiri, and you special the ice. This will overlay you here for the Ragna Zero, which is live because not only Duo is making your opponent's monsters minus 100 plus yours 100, Habakiri. So now you have 2 different ways that your opponent has to get rid of to make this card not live anymore. And then obviously this would be engrave, and then you would have the card you drew plus the set, and then here you would go activate, target these 2 because you had 2 left, and then this would draw you another card. So you'd have 2 cards in hand, and then this would be your full board, right? So right now I'm just going to go ahead and go back, and then I'll go ahead and show you the other line. All right, so back to where we were before. So this is what your board would look like I said. So here you can go ahead, if you'd like to, you can just go ahead and ritual summon, tribute this. Go ahead, summon your Murakumo from the deck. This will go ahead and trigger to search. And you can go ahead and search your prayers. All right, and then this will go ahead and come back. Here, instead of making the Daigusto, we'll go ahead and just immediately make the Ragna instead, right? So now here what you can do is you actually can activate, tribute this off, and special summon a random back from the deck, or back from the grave. And then this will go ahead and allow you to trigger. To search you the trap. And then summon itself back. Cool. And then here, right, so now you have an extra body. You can go ahead, special this. You can go effect, send this for cost. Go ahead and target preferably sword so you can't be bestialed. Overlay these 2. Go ahead and make your detonator. Detonator will go ahead and trigger. And this will attach you the twins from the graveyard, which is live because of imps. So this is the, like I said, quote-unquote non-greedy board. Just because you get to keep the ice, right? You can guarantee that you keep the ice in hand. So now you have follow-up for next turn. And then obviously as well, you're going to have the ability to draw off of the cross, because you're going to have multiple Ryzeals engraved at this point. So whatever the two are, right, we'll just say it's these two because I shuffled stuff around. These two will go ahead and we'll draw you a random card, whatever it might be. So you go ahead, set, you have full board, purification. So this is obviously an incredibly high interruption board. I've literally never had this board broken all the time playing. So in terms of interaction, we'll go ahead and go through it real quick just so you can see. This is obviously like no hand traps, nothing like that. So we have the cross negate. We have the rip from Murakumo, right? We have the pop from Ragna. We have the 3 detonator pops that we're going to get. So 1, 2, 3. We have Eclipse Twins to bring it back. We have the Mitsurugi Amino, making everything smaller. And then we have Great Purification. So this is a 9 interruption board. And we have a hard negate and destroy. And a non-respondable monster negate. Which is very, very strong. So, very, very good. Like I said, I've never had this board broken. Obviously, you're going to draw another card off of Ragna Zero, for example, as well, which will give you another thing in hand. So you went from just X'd to all of this, plus whatever cards you have in hand, right? Obviously, you're going to have your negates, for example, right? So probably whatever that it might be, these going to probably grave. You're going to have this go to grave for the most part. This will probably be in grave. So when you start your turn, obviously you're going to draw another card. Obviously, you probably, if you still have cross, you'll be able to put back not only this, but also the node, which are like some of the most important ones. And then you'll be able to draw an additional card. So this will be, right, even if like for the most part everything is gone, you still fine because you'll still have trap engrave. So trap will be another way for you to bring your board back. You can go ahead, banish it, special summon something, right? Sometimes what I like to do is if I have access to like prayers, what I'll do is I'll like bring back like Murakumo if I can. You can tribute something off the field. If it's this, right, it's super broken because you can go ahead. This can activate. This will go ahead and search you prayers. You can go ahead, activate prayers if you would like. Afterwards, this comes back. If you want to tribute something, you can. You don't have to. You can just go ahead, bring this back, pay the 800, go use its effect, add back the trap, and now you have an extra level for a body. So, but yeah, that's it, guys. That's everything that I wanted to show y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all think. Hit the notification bell as well. That way you know whenever I post another video. And yeah, I'll just catch y'all in the next one. Peace.